To coincide with the China season, Electric Shadows, we've been delving into the BFI National Archive to uncover rare and unseen films of China from the first half of the 20th century.
很高兴也很激动的一个事情，因为在这里能找到这么老的影像。因为电影发明实际才100多年，而且中国传入进去以后还是比较少的，所以能1901年100多年前的活动影像出现，我在中国还没有看到过。
One of the remarkable things about this collection of films is the number of films we've managed to uncover from the Qing dynasty, films made before 1912, which are an astonishing look at life in Imperial China. One of the most remarkable is a film made by the pioneering British producer Charles Urban, who dispatched a cameraman to China on a year-long photography project in 1909. The film's known as Modern China. It was released in 1910, but some kind of catastrophe befell the project, and only 10 minutes of footage was ever realised into a finished film. One of the wonderful things about this project is we've been able to go back to the original nitrate materials and rediscover the original tinted and toned colours, bright purples and blues, amber colours. And we've been able to reinsert or recreate these colours digitally so that the film you see today is as it would have been seen in 1910. Another of the films transports you to Shanghai in 1901. It's a very rare piece of surviving war reportage. The film is an extraordinary window onto an incredibly cosmopolitan city.
里头有很多调度，一会儿你看有普通的中国人，也有坐洋车的外国人，有钱人，甚至还有来了印度的巡捕和德国人，还有西方女士骑着自行车。我觉得是这个镜头就把那个当时的社会告诉你好多东西。
Despite the fact that these are all silent films, you know, the amount of activity that you see in them, and also the diversity of the landscape, it just brings everything to colour, and you can just see all of these throngs of people, and you can just hear all this, you know, all the chat, and it's very, very exciting.
他大概是这些外国的旅游者啊，还是传教士他们排的，但他排不到皇帝了，但是他排到了前门很多普通的老百姓，包括一些小商小贩，还有小孩子，还有老人，还有买东西的、吃东西的，我觉得那些都非常生动。
As a Chinese person looking at these films, it was interesting to see what interested them, what really caught their attention at the time.
他现在排下来的都是在30年代，就是又要早个10-20年，非常真实，很自然。所以对于我们认识我的北京，认识当时的社会，我觉得有很多史料价值。像我看你们的纪录片，每个镜头、每个人物、每个细节都真的，这是真的。
It's actually quite interesting to see that in the cities, of course, they've developed hugely. I mean, you probably wouldn't even see most of those places now. But when you look at the countryside, the way of living there is very similar. So, you know, it was interesting to see how some places had obviously advanced very, very quickly, while others have not.
This is a remarkable time-travelling tour of China. It's a trip back to the Qing dynasty. It's a trip across 50 years of Chinese history, a trip across thousands of miles of geographical space. You'll see rural China, urban China, historical China.
你们发现这些，收集起来，现在正在做，把它们的修复，我觉得这是很伟大的工作。
This is stuff that's been unseen for decades. It's been on a shelf, stored away in refrigerated storage, just waiting for the opportunity to be unlocked, to be made available as widely as possible. This is a piece of global heritage. It's like if you give it to the world, then they can make of it what they will. Like that's the joy. You can digitize it, you can interpret it, you can provide as much film history, film contextualization as you can, but the real meaning of the stuff is going to come back to us through the audience. The people who see this will be able to interpret the footage. They'll be able to see places they recognize. They may even see people they recognize. And they will be able to respond to the images in an intimate way that as historians we can only prompt.
I think it's just going to be so eye-opening. The diversity not only of the geographical areas, but also the kinds of footage. You have rural life as opposed to urban life. You've got court officials, next to peasant people, next to Western missionaries. You've got this whole jumble of different social classes and different ethnic minorities, and it's just a very, very multifarious and very, very colourful mix altogether. I think it'll be totally stunning for anyone who just happens to come across them.
We want as many people as possible to see these films. So we've digitised them, we've put them on the internet, and they're all available to see on the BFI Player.